Welcome to Facts TV News, where everything is true. Fire raises old Labour Ministry building in central Kingston. The old Ministry of Labour and Social Security building at the intersection of North and East Streets in central Kingston has gone up in flames. After receiving a call at 1:05 a.m. Tuesday, 2 units were initially dispatched to the site, but firefighters called for reinforcement, said District Officer F. Bennett of the York Park Fire Station. 28 firefighters and 4 units in total, 3 from York Park and another from Wallington Town, battled the blaze. The cause of the fire was not immediately ascertained. Mounted police back in Mobe.
Officers, how are you? Is this a mounted division of the police force?
Yeah, mounted division.
Okay.
Police has been around from the installation of the Jamaica Constabulary Force. The same time we got independence, it was moved back to Upper Jam in 1962. So when JDF was formed, we have been there and we patrol the entire corporate area up normally up in the hills, and we have continued to do so over the past decade or so. The tradition has not ended. But we're just supposed to situate it in the Kingston region.
How long are you on the streets now in Montego Bay?
Well, we have been here for a month. So we're just here to give persons a feel of the music.
How are you managing with this new traffic in Montego Bay?
Traffic it's okay. I'm managing.
You're managing. How many horses are here?
No, well, at the moment, only 2 horses are here.
Okay.
All 2 horses are here.
Okay.
So let's see how the reception and then we tell you what is happening. Many.
All right.
It's Eldorado. Eldorado, good? All right. So, thank you.
Thank you, man. All right.
Tailor shot dead in downtown Kingston. The police have cornered off a section of Fleet Street in downtown Kingston, where a popular tailor was murdered yesterday afternoon. Residents say the deceased 50-year-old Winston Ellis was peaceful and well respected. They want their community declared a zone of special operations to help in containing violence. Vaccine ruling apart to employee abuse, say unions. Seasoned trade unionist Granville Valentine says Monday's Supreme Court ruling to deny Digital Jamaica and CarMed Limited employees reprieve against the implementation of mandatory COVID vaccine policies pending trial will result in wanton abuse of workers' rights by employers. Valentine argued too that the ruling is likely to trigger a mass exodus of professionals who will not hesitate to transfer their skills to more developed countries that offer greater protection of constitutional rights. In an interview Monday evening, the General Secretary of the National Workers' Union said the ruling has set a dangerous precedent, opening the floodgates to companies of the fence about implementing similar policies. No management should be able to bring a new policy that was not part of any negotiation, whether with individual workers or with a union, and that supersedes what entailed and what the present law provides for, said Valentine, who insisted that the ruling breaches constitutional rights to freedom of choice and labor standards set by the International Labour Organization. He charged that the ruling has given companies carte blanche to dismiss non-compliant employees without taking into account medical and religious reasons for refusing the COVID-19 vaccine. St. Patrice Ennis, the General Secretary of the Union of Technical, Administrative and Supervisory Personnel, has said the ruling should not factor into medical and religious exemptions, pointing to one of the CarMed employee who was pregnant at the time the application was filed. He said, however, that the current status of that employee was unclear. Ennis, like Valentine, said that the ruling will embolden other companies to implement vaccine policies with trials likely to take some time to complete. it will discourage other employees from embarking on such paths in terms of challenging policies. These things are not cheap. I expect the person still will be challenging because individual circumstances vary. The medical issue is sure to come up again, he said. Meanwhile, Attorney at Law Gavin Goff considered the ruling a big victory for the CARMED, which he represented in the matter and the country. He countered Valentine's argument that the ruling is likely to set the wide scale of infringement of employees' rights, asserting that the judgment is clear. Employers have a duty to protect their workers. They have a duty to protect their business. Workers also have a duty to protect their co-workers, so a notion of abusing anybody is really not sustainable, he stated. He said the judgment will set a useful precedent for other companies. 5 employees of the pharmaceutical company CarMed and a senior digital data specialist, Derek White, sought injunctions to block the implementation of the policies. The 2 rulings means the employees must comply with COVID vaccine or routine tests at their expense until the substantive hearing are held. In the first decision, Justice Sonia Wint-Blair ruled against the White's application for an interim injunction to block enforcement of Digicel's policy that took effect in September. The judge said Digicel, other employees and their families would face negative and far-reaching consequences if the injunction was granted. Justice Wint-Blair also said White did not show that he could not cover Digicel's losses if the case does not end up in his favor. White also lost the bid to have his claim of alleged constitutional breaches heard. Wint-Blair said other remedies exist for such violations. In the case of the CarMed employees, who argued that their rights were threatened with the rollout of the policy, Wint-Blair said that there is a far more sustainable risk of real harm to society, including health threat to CarMeds and other employees, and especially those with other illnesses. The prejudice to the defendant will take the form of exposure of potential liability, immeasurable risk to the health and safety of its employees and its human resources, she said. Justice Wint-Blair also said that the nation's aim of safeguarding public health as mandated by the Disaster Risk Management Act (DRMA) weighed heavily in the decision. The DRMA is the government's primary legislative tool to fight the COVID-19 pandemic. Commissioner of Police Major General Anthony Anderson revealed that the JCF has successfully completed the first phase of ISO 9001 certification. The ISO certification is used by organizations to demonstrate their ability to provide services and products that meet the highest standards. Commissioner Anderson says the JCF is well on its way to achieving its goal of becoming a world-class service better equipped to serve our citizens. Major General Anthony Anderson made this disclosure during his address at the opening of the Buff Bay Police Station currently underway in Portland.
And the good thing is, the more often we meet like this, is the better it is for the communities in which we meet, but also the better it is for the Jamaica Constabulary Force. It means that we're progressing. It means that we're changing the circumstances, not just for the force, but for the people who we serve. I had a chance to walk through the building a little earlier, and I think it does both of those. It is a good reflection on the direction that we see our customers, the public, as important people, and we should give them a station that they should feel, 1, proud about, but 2, that comfortable when they go there, and 3, that it can deliver the services that they need. And on the other side of it is that the police officers who work there have another reason to be proud of what they do. It means that when they come to work, even if they had a bad day at home, once you come to work, life gets better. And because of that, you deliver better service to the public. But one thing is sure, that this development process of the JCF is going on, and it's going on full steam ahead. This development process started with the people. It started with our members. It started with us. The very first development activity was to create the welfare department to look after our members' interests. That is That is a critical component of whatever we do as an organization. This is a structure. What it delivers is based on the people who occupy it. We want police officers who are proud. Officers have to be proud of what they do. And that pride will cause them to do the right things and do the best things they can for citizens. A police officer must never see themselves as a victim. People tend to have sympathy for victims, sometimes empathy, but largely not respect. A police officer needs respect in order to do his job. Things are tough sometimes, but I can guarantee you and commit to you that my advocacy for the men and women of the JCF will not stop. It will continue. And it's all part of a program of delivering to Jamaica the police force that it needs, that it deserves, and we're well on our way there. We just went through the stage 1 audit of ISO 9001 certification with an A grade. Now, that may not mean as much to some people as to others, but it's a very rigorous process to ensure you have quality management systems. You cannot have that without quality people. You cannot achieve that without the team down to the last constable doing what they should do. Normally there's a large space between your first stage audit and your second audit, which is the one that's before you're certified. The audit team that dealt with the first one that we just went through said we need to go right away to stage 2. We don't need that gap. The JCF is down the road on on that. And what does that mean? Let me just pull out one thing from it. One of the things we have to measure is our customer satisfaction. So we have to put in place, and had to put in place, a mechanism for a customer who comes to a police station at the pilot stations that we're using for certification to actually register whether the service they got was adequate or not. That's the kind of detailed management information required if you're really going to be serious about modernization. That customer has a voice and it's reflected all the way up to management immediately. So these things are put in place there and they will be spread across. I expect to see it here. Your force is transforming. Your officers who left the same high schools, the same communities, the same homes as everyone else, but decided that their vocation and profession in life would take them to service that would put themselves in harm's way to protect people they don't even know. That is a rare trait and a rare service. And in this season, coming into this Yuletide season, whilst people go off to enjoy this holiday, our members will be going on to ensure that the population can do this in safety. So I'm not going to leave a platform like this without thanking the men and women of the Jamaica Constabulary Force for your work, your service, and the respect you give and the respect you get in service of the country.
I am Detective Inspector Harris, and I am the station commander for the Buff Bay Police Station. Well, today we are having an opening ceremony for our new facility, and we are very elated about this facility. It has boost the morale of the staff very much so far. The community, you can see the gathering outside, they are very happy for us getting a good facility, and we have the accommodation for them so that when they come to make their reports, they can be comfortable and they feel welcome. So this is doing very good for the community overall, and the police in general will produce more based on the moral boost that we're getting now. So we want to say thanks to all who contributed, our minister, commissioner, the PMU, the ROC team. This is a very good initiative, and I wish that all stations in Jamaica could be like this.
Please remember to subscribe, like, share, and click the notification bell for daily updates.